What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I last posted a video. I've got a special one for you today. We finally found the jump drive that contains all of the official video and audio files from my dad's funeral, which is over a year ago now. But it was a very special occasion for us, something we always want to remember and honor him with. It was a chance for us to honor him, and I want to have that on YouTube and other places as a permanent memory and as a tribute to my dad. So this is the talk I gave a little over a year ago at my dad's funeral. We're doing great. We know we will see him again. We love him, and we're grateful for him and his example to us. So here's the talk I gave at his funeral, and at the end of that video, I'll include a little clip from a video I filmed at the 1 year mark up at my dad's gravesite. So love you guys. Thanks for following along, and I hope you enjoy this. Michelle guaranteed mine will go over 5 minutes, so we'll see what I can do here. You know, when this all happened, I think a lot of you have heard, a lot of us were out of town. I was on a work trip in Panama, and kind of stunk, you know, being that far away. But, you know, when I sent a text to my family, I said, you know, one thing's for sure, there isn't a man more prepared to meet God than Dad. I'm still very hopeful and prayerful this isn't the end, but if it is, we know exactly where he'll be. And you know, that was my dad. And this isn't something like, you know, some artist who you only appreciate after they're gone. I mean, this is a man that I looked up to and admired and loved and respected and tried to be like my whole life. He, you know, to me, like, he left this life. I've been joking with friends for a few years now. Like, I've watched my dad get better and better and better and better at life. And I've joked with friends for years that he's just minutes away from being translated. And part of me thinks he just had passed this life's test with such flying colors that it was just his time to go back and do more important work on the other side. He loved missionary work. He loved temple work. And there's, you know, I've been thinking a lot about just kind of like what he's doing. And there's a scripture that I want to share. It's in Doctrine and Covenants 138. It's President Joseph F. Smith. It's a vision he got about what Jesus was doing, you know, in the time that his body was in the tomb. And I'll read it here, if I can find it. It says, "And as I wondered, my eyes were opened and my understanding quickened. And I perceived that the Lord went not in person among the wicked and the disobedient who had rejected the truth to teach them. But behold, from among the righteous he organized his forces and appointed messengers, clothed with power and authority, and commissioned them to go forth and carry the light of the gospel to them that were in darkness, even to all the spirits of men, and thus was the gospel preached to the dead." So I'm pretty confident that's what my dad's doing now. He loved missionary work, and he loved the temple. And so I can't imagine him doing anything other than that. There's some scriptures that came to mind, you know, some other ones with my dad as I was flying home, and it was not a fun flight, to say the least. And I just thought, you know, my dad had just mastered so well, like, prioritizing the proper things in life. This was a man that did not care about trivial things. He did not focus on trivial things. He cared about God. He cared about his wife. He cared about his family. He cared about others. And it just made me think of the 2 great commandments, you know, where Jesus is approached by a Pharisee, and they say, "Master, which is the great commandment in the law?" Jesus said unto him, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets." And that was my dad. He was just so good at that. He loved everyone. He made everybody feel better about themselves. Nobody has believed in me more, championed me more, been prouder of me than my dad. He loved the spotlight, but not being in it. He loved shining it on other people. He was a spotlight operator to shine it on other people. Which is probably good, because we got enough in our family that like being in the spotlight. So. But he was just the best. I've just felt such gratitude since this happened, honestly. Like, the first few days were the saddest days of my life, and I'm sure the's many more ahead, but I've felt such gratitude that I was blessed with such an incredible man as my father. He was always there for me. He was always available. If you called him, he was answering. It didn't matter if he was in some big important work meeting, he would answer that phone and he would be there. So I'm going to miss that. He never missed an opportunity to tell you he loved you. We were going through voicemails, or he just told us how much he loved us. Countless voicemails. He just was always letting everybody know how much he cared about them, how awesome they were, and how much he loved them. And I'm going to miss that. The last thing I want to share is just a thought I had, and this again was happening. So, for those that don't know, he had a stroke, and then there was kind of an emergency surgery, and he somewhat recovered from that one. And I remember being in Panama, getting these texts and FaceTiming Brandon a little bit, and feeling like it was going to be okay. And then I woke up. So hours later, he then had a second stroke, and I woke up early Monday morning to the text messages about this second one, and it just felt different, in a really bad way. And I kept praying for a miracle, and just wanting a miracle, and every time I prayed for a miracle, I just got this very strong impression back that he is the miracle. Your dad is the miracle. His life is the miracle. Excuse me. Your family is the miracle. Like, this man is the miracle, and so that brought me a lot of peace and comfort. And he truly was the Michael Jordan of dads. Kind of slip that in there, but just how lucky and blessed we are. And there's a quote that people may forget what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And my dad always made everybody feel loved and feel special, especially my mom and us kids. And I am eternally grateful to him for that. So thank you, Dad. I love you. And I say this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's a very special day because obviously Thanksgiving, but for me and my family, it's also the day that my dad passed exactly 1 year ago today. Last year it was the day before Thanksgiving, but it's on the 24th. And so kind of a special day, a big milestone, I guess, for us. And on a day where everyone's expressing gratitude and where we're thinking so much about things we're grateful for, I'm obviously very grateful for him. And I'm also reminded that it's gratitude that got me through that very difficult time. I mean, those were the hardest times of my life, like the saddest moments, just like a pain and sadness that I had never felt before. And it was quickly replaced with gratitude for my dad, the life he lived, the person he was, the example he set, the fact that I knew undoubtedly that he loved me, and the fact that he was my dad, and I had him for 40 years, and I'll see him again and be with him again. And so I'm wearing this shirt. We had these shirts made, a little family phrase of ours: thank you, we love you. So thank you, Dad, love you, and make sure the ones that you love know that you love them. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.